iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
A little dominance in Canada last week went a long way for Vantage Esports Yellow. David Holland finds victory again in this young season, but still finds himself outside looking in on the quest for this championship. Someone is sure to bring home all the cheese tonight here in Wisconsin at Road America. Coming at you live for round 4 of the Precision Racing League's Formula 3 series here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. In the booth with me this evening, yes, throwing you all the people's eyebrow right now himself, Brian Yazik. And over there in the big chair, it's Joe Peak, twisting and tweaking the dials for us this evening as he does every Thursday night. And of course, the man behind our cameras, he's always there, he's always lurking, the great, the one and only, Dudley Beard. Brian, we are here at Road America and Speedville, as some call it. Johnsonville sure loves to call it that. But, you know, it really, one of the fascinating things about this place is its size, the landscape here in Wisconsin. Why don't we drop away real quick and take a look at this special preview of Road America.
Welcome to Road America. Nicknamed America's National Park of Speed, it's easy to see why just by looking at how the track is laid out. Long straights are a major feature, and drivers will build up incredible momentum before they find themselves interrupted by tight 90-degree corners. In fact, for a 4-mile circuit, it has shockingly few turns. It also has little in the way of variation in layouts. The main course is only broken up once with a single chicane added in the bend version. But don't take this to mean that it's a boring track. Elevation change happens many times over a lap, with a few places taking you into corners which are quite blind. But 2 of the turns on the back half of the course are perhaps the most distinctive. One is the carousel with its more than 180-degree radius. It just feels like it never stops. The other is the kink. Terrifyingly fast with very little runoff, it can end someone's race in a flash. As you'd expect, the heavy braking zones make for some ideal overtaking spots. Turn 5 sees plenty with its downhill entry. The hurried downs can offer drivers a chance at a sneak attack if you're brave, and then Canada Corner gives you one last shot before the lap is over. It's no wonder major organizations such as IMSA, IndyCar, NASCAR, and the SCCA all host major races here. All in all, many drivers rate this track as the best track in North America. Many who hop in the seat and try it can quickly understand why.
Now, Brian, we're back here at Road America after taking a preview of the track. You know, I know you've raced here quite a bit in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, maybe even the Retro Series. I can't remember if they ran here or not, but tell us a little bit more about this great facility.
Well, Sean, and thank you for having me on. Hello, welcome, good evening, everybody out there. Road America, it is widely accepted as one of the finest, if not the finest road course in all of America. Robin Miller calls it one of the most perfect examples of a road course. As you see on your screen, 14 turns, I believe 8 are to the right, and the remaining rating amount, I can't math off the top of my head, are to the left. 4.48 miles, 6.5 kilometers for the metric system out there. The biggest thing with this track, and we talked about it big time in the guide that you just saw, the carousel, as you see, kind of at the very top of your screen on that track guide where the track does make that big 180-degree turn. It's very tricky to get that just right. And there's several different ways to attack that corner. You can go in very deep and try to wash out. You can try to enter wide and bring it back in. But then that corner is so crucial to get on the exit of it, because that leads down that little backstretch and then to the next corner. That was kind of a highlight spot in the video, being the kink. You have to take that corner as fast as you can. The right foot wants to go all the way down on the loud pedal and keep that foot planted. The car might not like it. We got a little bit cooler track temps out tonight, so it's probably going to be able to work with those drivers in making that corner work all too nicely. Now, but there is another corner I want to talk about, and I feel, and Sean and our director Joe agrees, one of the top 5 trickiest corners. It is called the Corvette corner because the big Corvette sign that's up on the basically hangs out over top the Corvette bridge. On your track guide, if you look right in the middle of the screen at the end of that very big straight stretch there, that's the corner we're talking about. And the big reason for it is it's uphill, so it's a blind corner, it's off camber, and you kind of roll off to the left. So really the best spot is you have to kind of place the car where you think it's going to be. And if you mess up, the sand trap and the wall on the other side waits for you. So Sean, those are kind of my areas that I feel are going to be kind of hot spot areas here tonight to watch these Formula 3 cars come around Road America.
It will definitely be very hot on the opening lap for sure. Brian, we have a sponsor. And listen, if you're ready to compete against financial markets, well, supporting over 60,000 users across the globe, NinjaTrader provides award-winning trading software and brokerage services. NinjaTrader is always free to use for advanced charting, backtesting, and trade simulation. Visit NinjaTrader.com to get started with a risk-free trading simulator and start tracking your performance. Brian, lots going on early in this championship. Now, I said in the opening that David Holland has won 3 races in, but he's not at the top. That's Abner Acosta right now. Up there, 6 points ahead of Daniel Sagers for Forward Bite Racing. But Holland with, he missed the second round, and that leaves him 10 points behind. But 2 wins early on has got him right in the thick of this. His teammate, Kevin Santana, sits right behind him. Kevin finished in the top 3 with David last week. And, Nick Delp, not too far behind on the 15 points back. Early on in the season, 3 rounds under our belt, and the points are pretty tight at the top. Now let's look at the team standings. And, we talked about Vantage Esports Yellow. That's where they sit, at the top right now. Of course, having David Holland on your team doesn't hurt. But, let's just say his teammate, Kevin Santana, has been equally as good. He's got one top 5 and has finished, had a little bit of tough luck, but that top 5 certainly helped. And, well, there they sit at the top ahead of Forward Bike Racing, SRT Esport Blue, 45 behind, and it really deadlocked here in the last 3. Alpine Star Geodesic, Lone Tranny Racing sitting there in 5th. Brian, why don't you fill the viewers in on what we're doing here tonight in the Precision Racing League Thursday night series, the Formula 3.
Absolutely, Sean. And if you're a new viewer, you've picked a great time to tune in. And so you might be curious just how things go around here. Well, boys and girls, let me tell you here. Sit around and I'm going to tell you a story. Round 4 of 10, 45-minute race with open setups. So you know these guys have been tuning and tweaking on them, especially last week when they got a surprise bonus of having the new tire model on race night. So that was a fun challenge that everybody saw last week. 20 incident point limit, pretty easy. If you keep all 4 tires on the pavement and can stay clear, you'll be all right. Couple spots, though, you can really rack up a 1X if you're trying to push it or if you're just maybe getting a little bit of wash going out. Now, you do get a bonus point for the pole, a fastest lap, or 3 incident points or less. So, I mean, you saw it early on in the point standings, where you could see someone maybe get all 3 bonus points. And then you look at a driver like Zagers, that now that margin goes from 6 to 3. Or Holland, that margin then cuts down from 10 to 7, and now he's a lot closer, in a lot closer striking distance as well.
Well, Brian, you know what? We've let qualifying get away from us a little bit. There's less than 5 minutes already. We kind of have less than 5 minutes left now in qualifying, and, well, Abner Acosta sits at the top. No great surprise there. Abner looking good here early, but we do want to welcome everybody here to the iRacing Esports Network. Of course, lots going on for iRacing today. In fact, just a couple hours ago, the Peak E-Series just wrapped up. Zach Novak winning the championship, Brian, on national television on NBC Sports. A pretty cool thing. This little thing called iRacing has come a long way, hasn't it?
It's come a long way just in the couple of years that I've been on it. I've been on the service. Oh man, I almost don't want to say that this year was the end of my 5th year, but it might very well be. But just even in that time frame, how far it's come, and I couldn't imagine being, someone that when it just started and it was a couple road cars, a couple tracks, and a couple oval cars that were all late models and Legends cars. I mean, I can't imagine, being from that side of things and seeing it start there and then continue to grow all the way out to the point that, we talk about Zach Novak winning the Peak Antifreeze Series championship. He's $40,000 richer. That's 40,000. I mean, I know what I could do with that kind of money. About 38,000 tacos kind of sounds like a really good way to spend that. But and you just kind of see everything growing, and it's just kind of nuts to sit here and see where this has come. And even, for me personally, growing up, watching Paul Page on the Indy 500 broadcast, thinking I want to talk about race cars one day. And, well, here I am.
We just saw Overbay get P2 here in qualifying. Holland went across, stays in P3. Raymond Day coming across the line now, looking for a little bit better. It is going to be a little bit better. Is it enough to move him up? It does get him right in front of Kevin Santana with time running out. Still lots of cars on the track.
Lots of action around here at Road America. We see on screen right now kind of that Corvette corner that I was talking about, as we've got getting lost here. There we go. Michael Overbay on the screen, working his way around. If he could be on a good flyer right here. He was sitting P1 most of the session here. So it could be interesting to see as he works his way through the carousel like we were talking about here. This is probably going to be, he's going to get one more crack at it. It's time to boogie, I think, as you say, Sean.
Yeah, well, I think he will definitely make it around in time for one more if he chooses to take one more. He's already taken 5. We'll see if he can maybe tackle Acosta here. Acosta just going under the Corvette bridge himself.
Well, the other
Handled
thing
well,
too-
Brian. Nothing major there.
Well, a lot of these guys too. I mean, they could be in the right spot. They might be able to sniff a draft and find that extra little bit of time. I mean, looking around right now, the is coming up the front stretch there. That is
It's
Montini.
Overbay. Yeah, Montini coming across the line, and he'll have one more in him if he chooses to.
Ooh, good little run right there. It's coming at it. 8 cars coming off of the final corner. Daniel Zagers, he was up there at
Holland. Holland just took over for Overbay. Holland goes to P2. He had the tail end of that draft with those two geodesic drivers in front of him.
Oh, and Zagers didn't register in time that time, so he has not improved at all. Let's jump back over to Overbay. Or Holland, sorry.
Yeah, on board with him here.
Well, he's in a good spot, getting a nice little sucker roll down this long back stretch into, I mean, just a wonderful corner, but very tricky. Downhill, hard on the brakes. Then you got to get the car to rotate and go over towards the left. No, that's not going to be helpful, and he's got to back out of it.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he bails. He
Yep.
bails because of that. That had hurt him enough. He knew it.
And Acosta going back up and reaffirming himself on the pole, just going purple on the sector with a 155.29.
Got a lot of cars bailing on this lap all of a sudden. Here comes
I'm
the
looking-
16.
Yeah, I'm looking around Espinoza. Well, he's bailing to the pits. Next car working around is the 06. That is Montini. Let's pick him up here through Thunder Valley. Named for the way that the exhaust echoes through those trees as they hang over. So it's quite an experience from what I've been told. Going through the final corner. Looks pretty solid. Keeps it away.
does.
Oh, no, he bails.
He-
And I was just saying nice things about him.
You were. Here we go. Let's. Jefferson. Here comes Spicer.
He's going to register in at 23rd right now.
I think he's going to stay at P23 there, Brian.
Oh, and the only driver that was rolling around was Kevin Carlos Santana, and he ended up in the tire barriers outside of corner 14 there. 14 is rolling, but I don't know if he's on a lap. They're done.
Yeah, no, I think we're done actually already, but still a little
Well,
under a minute and a half left.
He's still on the button, though. Because I see the timer, and he's gonna get around, so it's very possible. Let's take a look. Up
Let's
through
take a
Thunder
look,
Valley.
yeah.
Here comes Kolsar. A little left, and then the way that the car falls off to that side is really important to get that corner right. Set the entry up into 14. Let it float out there over the rumble strips. Bring it back up the straightaway and right up pit road. That's
there
the
he
proper
goes.
way that you enter pit road.
He got us.
Only these guys knew I'm saying nice things about him. Like, come on, boys.
Well, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get the grid in here. We'll have a pace lap to get around and plenty to wax poetic about. No, I'm sorry, standing start. Bad on me. Abner Acosta is our pole sitter. David Holland going to sit right next to him there. Row 2 is going to be flanked with Michael Overbay and Francisco Montini. Row 3 will find Kevin Santana and Andres Espinoza. Row 4, there's Glitter Pants. The Brazilian is with us tonight. Jefferson Padovani starting 7th. Raymond Day will start 8th. Row 5, Kyle Strykars and Nathan Lewis, Brian.
Stefan Verde makes up the first car on the inside of row 6 with Daniel Zagers to his outside. 13th goes to Adam Kolsar. We saw him there on the first part. Brett Thurman in 14th, 15th to Hugo Galaz. Aaron Webb in 16th, 17th to Takashi Kita. 18th, Owen McLean with Nicholas Delp to his outside. And then in the next row on the inside, that's how odds and evens work, Brian. Nicholas Delp with Jay Steffi.
All right, and we'll go on down to the next row, Brian. It's going to be Lionel Duprat. There he is, starting 21st tonight with Ty Gore starting 22nd. Row 12 going to be Andy Spicer and Matthew Gunderson in the 24th hole. And in number 33, row 13 going to be Daniel Barnett and Kenny Rodriguez. We'll start 26 tonight. Row 14, Chris Richards in his number 49. We'll start 27. Charles Sumner starting 28 this evening. Row 15, going to be Lucio Vargas and David Hebert. And the last car in this field, last Formula 3, going to be Donald Olson tonight in his number 32, starting 31st. How about that, Brian?
Yeah, that's got just missed it by just a little bit.
So here we go. A full field tonight. One of the bigger fields we've had. I think we've started maybe less than 30 once, but I think this might be the first time we eclipsed 30. So thank you, Donald Olson, for occupying that spot this evening. You know, we didn't talk much about the weather, but it's actually a beautiful day here, an early day here in Wisconsin right now. It's only 74 degrees on track. It's just before 9 a.m. virtual standard time. The lights are up. We're ready to go. Abner, ready to take this field. We're mean green and underway here at Road America. Costa gets a good jump. Holland gets
a big pile up out back. Immediately, several cars involved. Looks like the 32 is what I saw immediately of Donald Olson, but he may have just got it. Takashi Kita is in it. The red
Kita Delp, yeah, several drivers. Up front, though, it's Acosta who managed to get away by just a tick, not much. They're battling behind him. I see a car off in the dirt. That looks like Stephen Vardy. I'm Varade. Sorry, Stephen. And then battling here, Montini, Overbay, already going at it side by side down the hill.
They're having the inside lane there for Overbay, but it's going to work out. They're going to meet kind of on corner exit. He's got to roll off of it, and that is going to allow Montini to get away, and that's just going to slide Overbay back into the clutches of the teammate for Pat and Navi.
Gunderson and Tyler Gore both had a problem back there. That checked up Padavani the most there. I think he lost the most on that battle, Brian. Padavani and Santana.
Old age-old rule of racing. You run over anybody else on the track, just don't run over your teammate, and that's kind of the situation he was placed in. So had to pedal it, and there you kind of see the varying angles. This is very wide, swooping shot of the carousel, and now into the kink, one of my favorite corners out here as well. So you see these cars really slinging it in there, and as the run progresses and as the tires heat up, especially with this newer tire model, they can't go through there sideways all the time. They're going to just abuse those things. Oh, it's Overbay getting a really good run up Thunder Valley, trying to get around Montini. Was going to go around the hard way, not going to quite work, trying to set him up for the long run out of 14 down the front stretch. Sean, that's the end of the first lap.
Just like that, and as I feared for the rest of this crowd, Acosta and Holland have driven away just a bit. They've dropped him by just about 3 seconds already, but this is really the battle. Coming up the main straight, Montini, Overbay looking to the inside. He's just going to fly on by. Here come Padavani and Santana.
But now here, he didn't get a good run off of that corner. That's going to put him right back into the clutches of Montini, who now is going to be in a perfect situation, running down this very long backstretch. So he pulls out immediately. Probably got a better run out of corner 3 there than he was anticipating. But now the teammates hook up, and that's going to leave Montini out by himself.
Watch out, Santana trying to get a touch. Santana with a wheel hop, gets away with it. Montini holds the line.
I don't know how often in open wheel cars you can do that and get away from it, but by God, they did it.
Not many, Brian. In fact, I would bandy a guess and say in an IR-18 that doesn't end like that.
No, it ends up with
a launch.
Yeah, you hitting the wall, then the ambulance hitting about 90 trying to get out of there.
Let's go on board here.
Yeah, just to kind of see how that whole sector just kind of unfolded here.
Here's the contact right there. Wow. Didn't appear to get any damage on either car. He just dropped right where he went up. He dropped right in the same spot.
Best way to be.
Back to the madness, though, Brian. This is just crazy right now. Santana caught in between Espinosa and Padavani, trying to get something sorted out here.
Well, this is the best battle on track.
Oh, and it was Adam Kolsar is off. Coming out of the final turn, he misjudged it. I don't think he hit the wall. Everybody coming up the front straight.
Slid to a little stop back there. He's going to try to get it turned around and get rolling here. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best battle on track right now. This pack of cars is Santana.
And Montini. Was that Montini that was loose?
Once again, Espinoza looking on with a very curious interest as now Padavani moves up. And now back under attack.
Trying to get this spot away from Santana. Santana under attack from both sides now.
Back up front, though. Battle for the lead through turn 4. Holland and Acosta going side by side up into turn 5 here at the Corvette Bridge. Right now, give the lead over to Acosta, but now coming with the crossover. Here comes Holland.
Holland taking it right back to him. These two need to be careful. It's very early on in this race. I'd sure hate to see the competitive fire in both of them burn a little too brightly too early.
Well, it's all about, especially with these timed events and even these longer races, especially at a place like this, you know, this is where you really have to be early on. We still got 39 and a half minutes floating out there. You got to quell the red mist just for now. Maybe, you know, don't get super aggressive yet, but as a racer, that is so much more easier said than, I mean, Acosta, he's got the lead right now, and here comes Holland, who's probably just laying right in his tire tracks. It's going to be very interesting as they come off of 14 up the front stretch. I mean, he is well within draft range, so now is Acosta. How aggressive is he going to have to defend going up this long front stretch, knowing he's the car punching the big hole in the air?
Oh, I'm not a big fan of following. We haven't seen him do a whole lot of it, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and fight to get back to the front. We go on board and around. Holland going to try and take this away, and he does. And they almost made contact there. Abner going to stay right with him.
Absolutely thrilling battles as they're working their way down through turn 3. Now, here comes Acosta, gotten that big run back down this, what's unofficially the backstretch here at Road America. And really, if you're Holland, you can only try to defend to the inside, but it looks like Acosta maybe just going to kind of ride in his tire tracks at the moment, maybe playing the long game here.
Yeah, here we go. Montini over Bay, under the bridge. Montini got to take it away. I think Mike let him have that one.
Again, you know,
a little cautious
as long as
there.
it's left in the race.
Yeah.
Yep, you got quell the red mist.
Yeah, now Mike's back there with his teammate Jefferson Padavani right behind him. Still Espinoza and Santana. Really, this battle, third through 7th right now, only separated by just over a second and a half.
It's a great battle here. 3 cars underneath a blanket here at Road America. There you see just out the back. That was Padavini. You talk about the kink. We talked about it in the intro video. I talked about it. Get that big run, and just the kink is waiting for you to make a mistake. But here they come through the Thunder Alley once again. 3 cars. There's two. You go too wide. 3 cars does not fit. I promise you that, boys.
Montini seems to be the one with all the muscle here at the moment. And they will need a pit stop before this race is over. That's really going to sort things out. This is a monster pit lane. It takes forever to get on and forever to get off.
It is, but for as technically challenging as the race course is, it's actually, in my opinion, one of the easier pit roads. You come off of turn 14, you go up a hill, you hit the limiter, and you roll to a thing, you rolled into your box, and then you come back out and right back into turn 1.
That's true. That's true. And actually, all 3 rounds leading into tonight, we've had difficult exits at these tracks, and Mosport being a great example last week where it just spills you right back into the racing line. And
side by side into 4 again. Overbay looking to be the aggressor. It's going to actually bite him because here comes Padavani just kind of looking back, decided to fall in line, but he can't be too cautious because Santana back there, he's going to get jumpy back there as well.
Yeah, I can't imagine Santana's happy sitting back here in this. He knows he could be help to his teammate, but his teammate is a full 3 seconds ahead of him now, as Holland has given that lead back to Acosta up front. Santana's got his own set of problems, and Andres Espinosa right at his wing.
All sorts of battling back here. Going through the kink. Looks like everybody got through that one just fine. Back out front, the lead has separated a little bit between Acosta and Holland.
Yeah, you know, I noticed actually on the last lap when Holland still had the lead, he had done pretty much the same thing. He'd gotten out to a bit of a gap on Abner, but then gave position back. So, not sure what the play is here now. Holland maybe a bit in fuel saving mode. We'll see.
Lap time wise, I mean, that wasn't even a close comparison. As you see Acosta on your screen, purple that time by was at 56.16. Holland was at 57.85. So
got to go back to Espinosa and Santana. They were side by side there for a minute and actually traded that spot 3 times. Santana is going to reign supreme. Espinosa still on the hunt here. Gonna step out. There he goes. 5, 4, 3. You know those. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about, buddy.
Espinosa gets him out of the turn under the bridge. Oh, Santana on the binders hard there.
Montini just getting away from it right here. Trying to get away from it. Not going to quite work because Overby is just all over the rear wing up there.
I think these 5 drivers are enjoying their iRacing experience right now, Brian.
I would definitely say that they're enjoying their iRacing experience. As you kind of watch on the exit, you see there's a couple different ways to go through that, but the right way on exit, you clip the curb on the right to float out to the curb on the left, which sets you up perfectly for the kink. Just back behind that battle, who was that getting side by side?
That's
Espinosa.
Santana taking it back from Espinosa again. Jeez.
Contact! Oh, 2 cars around out in Canada corner. Santana is around. There was contact ahead of him as well. Ooh, hang on to it, Kevin. Yeah, get him fired up and rolling. I don't believe he hit anything. He just kind of spun into the dirt, but there was something right in front of him as well that I didn't get the car.
I think it was Montini that had the trouble in front of him, but here is the spin for Santana. Just got a little hot in, Brian, and you're right, he didn't hit anything, but he had to wait on a ton of cars to get by.
Yeah, that corner will just kill you. You just float away like that. Who was on pit road? Overbay on pit road.
Here we are on board with Montini. Ooh, and that's the contact.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw.
Yeah, that contact, I believe, was with Padovani. And yes, Overbay, the first of our cars to pit.
It's a short pitting strategy. I mean, did you only need so much to get to the end?
I wonder if he picked up some damage, Yaz.
From where?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. He's out of the car, and it is damaged.
Oh, man.
He's got damage in the rear wing.
It was off of the final corner. Turn 14. Go back. I just found it on the replay. Big spin off of turn 14.
Wow, and that's going to be a hard hit for Michael Overbay. Yeah, it did seem a bit early. I mean, we're close to that window right now with just over 30 minutes to go. Here it is.
Yeah, you're going to see it here on the screen. Gets into the corner, goes to pick up the throttle, and the front, the rear of the car decided it got really excited and wanted to meet the front of the car.
Yeah, and that's hard damage to the rear of that car. Probably not salvageable. I'll tell you what's salvageable right now, though. Espinosa's got himself up to 4th. Glitter Pants now rounds out the podium, but it's a battle between him. There goes Espinosa, overtaking Jefferson Padovani up the front straight across the line. It's Espinoza on the podium now.
The wall is a little bit of a barrier, but now here comes Padovani back to the outside. Going to be the long way around, and he makes it stick. Amazing driving from Padovani going through that corner.
And don't give up on Francisco Montini. He's found the gearbox of his teammate.
Now out front really quick. We don't have to jump out to look at it, but Holland has a very sizable lead, about 2 seconds up over a car.
Oh, Espinoza!
Contact into turn 4.
Yeah, Andres took that in a little too deep, and it might have ended Jefferson Padovani's race. And it's certainly going to end any chance of his race winning. That car's badly damaged.
And I don't think they're that you can try, but I don't think you're going to limp away from that one.
Espinoza just drives it in way too deep, Brian, in my opinion.
It was a very opportunistic braking. Because that's the thing, and it's really tricky because usually you try to outbrake somebody. You know you have to outbrake somebody, but leading up to corner 4, it's downhill, so you're carrying a little bit more momentum. And if you're driving it in another 50 feet past your mark, you really have to try to accompany for that or get ready for that. You see Padovani, he know where to go.
Yeah, and he's still on track, still trying to nurse the car back to the pit lane. Bunch of cars just got by him. Colsar, Santana. Santana, of course, in this mix of drivers back here. We come back to live. Santana in trouble, under attack by Colsar. Strike cars, Kenny Rodriguez.
So you see Holland now, who has that nice sizable lead going purple. Last time by with a 56.05. That battle up the front stretch there, that's worth watching. Oh no, Padovani! Oh, he's trying to limp it back to the pits. He limps it all the way around the track, and then gets to pit road on the access road, and it spins out and spins him right back out into the track. So he just decided to take a tow from there.
Remember, we were talking about that in the pre-race, Brian. I said, drivers look out for Padovani, and there's the spin right there, but the drivers look out for Padovani being one of them. My only concern was it's been a bit up and down for him. Obviously, down this evening.
Just a bad situation, got worse. He was just trying to limp it back, see if he could maybe salvage some kind of damage, and then it spun out on him again, and at that point, the red mist fully takes over.
Yeah. This one of our best battles left on track at the moment, though. Strikars, Colsar, and Kenneth Rodriguez all battling for this P14 spot. Colsar taking a little bit different swing at the line there. Really right in the draft. Oh, Federico Montini has had another problem. And it was Canada corner. Bit him.
That Canada corner, with the way that the car washes out on exit, very, very easy to kind of have that happen. And then you're just kind of stuck there watching the relative and waiting for everybody to get by.
Probably one of my least favorite advertisements is that Geo construction board there. Just, I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah,
up close and personally.
A time or 3.
What a tough break for Francisco. He's going to drop all the way back to P17 now. Strike cars, Colsar still fighting. You're going to try and trade this one back again.
Looking down that back stretch.
Here comes Kenny Rodriguez back there too. Watch out, boys. Fight yourself a little bit too much, you're going to get a partner. Oh, Colsar actually almost out on the grass there. Sends it deep. Nice exit, too. Colsar really got a handle on it here at the moment, Brian.
Absolutely. Just trying to work their way up through the back half of the section, or back half of the track, working their way up through 6 down that run towards 7.
Oh, and Colsar is around. Let's do this one here.
You're going to see that tricky turn 5, trying to turn in, coming out on the exit. All right, we're doing all right.
So far, so good. Bit right down here, Brian. A little bit too far to the right.
Try to turn in, and oh, well.
Yeah, he clips that car going by there. Was that Espinoza maybe was going by him at the moment? No, Espinoza was further up the track. Oh, it was Kyle Strykars actually that he got. I think Strykars survived that though. He finds himself just about a second over or back from Kenny Rodriguez.
All right, so after all of that action, let's go back and talk about, let's pull up the replay here that what we were talking about at the very, very start of the race with Kita, a couple other drivers out there.
Now, again, this was at the very back of the pack.
Oh, someone didn't get going, and
Yeah.
it all came together.
Kita's out in the grass there. And it all ended very early for Kita. Kita was right in the middle of this. There we go. They were on board Takeshi.
What? Exactly.
Well, he gets clipped and goes
Maybe
for the wild ride.
I mean,
Well, it resulted in most of those cars leaving the race, and that was Nick Delp, Takeshi Kita. They were the two main casualties from that incident.
and that's the unfortunate side effect of that.
Well, let's see. Look back up front here real quick. We know that David Holland's still in command of this race. He's actually in command of it now by, just about 3 seconds.
He's been lipping around here pretty quick, but that last time, Acosta did take a little bit of a chunk out of it. So could be interesting over the final 22. We only got 22 minutes left in this race. Holy cow.
Yeah, we're almost done. Raymond Day, the big surprise right now, sitting there in 3rd. 5 spots. He started P8 tonight, taking advantage of a little bit of the trouble here in the front of the field. But you know what? He is clean in front and clean behind. Zegers is 2.5 seconds behind him. And Brett Thurman starting to fill up his mirror, maybe just a little bit. Thurman, looking at his lap times, is not that far off pace from Daniel Zegers. In fact, last lap, he was about 0.2 quicker. So, again, Zegers right now got to be a little concerned about that traffic behind him. Maybe a little less concerned about what he's chasing there in Raymond Day. Espinoza and Spicer still back here with a decent fight. They're only separated by about a second. But the field is still pretty deep. It's just spread out now. Daniel Barnett getting out of his first pit stop.
And we talk about drivers that might be making a run up through the field. Let's take a look at Andy Spicer. We talked about it very briefly. He did have a nice battle there with Espinoza getting away. Andy Spicer started P23 on the night, up to the 9th spot. Nice little Lotus-inspired GSRC paint scheme. I'm digging that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be going that livery for
Pit stops.
2021. Yeah, so the pit stops start to file in now. David Holland going to lead them all down. Yep.
Leading windows open. Here's the fun. Here's something worth watching. Holland and everybody else pitted. Acosta stays out. So I think Acosta's going to go for the over, try and set a blistering lap and punk out some time, but then also probably try to take a little bit less fuel on the other side. It's kind of a bold strategy. It was about 3 seconds before this pit stop. I'd be very curious to see what it's like on the other side. I mean, I'm watching Acosta. He is hustling this car around the track.
Hustling out of the pit lane was David Holland. And Holland with a very, very quick stop, only 5.4 seconds in the box.
It's fuel only to me.
Yes, sir.
So with a new tire model, these tires are hanging on to it.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, a mostly cloudy day, 80-degree temps on the track, I think really, really have lended to a good, solid, hand-cooked tire this evening here at Road America.
Nice little southwest breeze, 9 miles an hour, which is blowing in essentially from driver's right to left across the front stretch.
So here comes Abner Acosta out of the final turn, and he's going to head in. I don't think it's any real great secret. He probably could have held on for one more, but how fast can he possibly be when he's out there by himself?
Well, I mean, if everybody else was kind of by themselves, he's trying to go for the over. Now we're looking at Holland right now, working his way up through Thunder Valley. I got my eyes on Acosta. We'll kind of see how this goes.
You keep an eye on Abner, I'll keep an eye on David. The Texan, coming out of the final turn, begins the climb up the straightaway.
And Acosta is in his box now.
David's going to pass him
David's
here.
going to roll by.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Is it a net gain or was it a net loss? I think he gained back on it.
That wasn't a gimme. He rolled by, but not by much.
Oh, and now you got that red mist going. 18 minutes left. You got to get on it, Abner.
I would definitely say Abner is up in the saddle at this point.
That was totally a net gain. Like I said, that was 3 seconds on the other side, and I would wager it's probably under 2 seconds right now.
Yeah, about a minute, 1.3 seconds.
But now, over the final roughly 10 laps left in the race, or 18 minutes. That's how it takes to get around 4 miles, kids.
Here's the really, really good news for both of them, guys. There's nobody in front of them.
Oh, no pressure.
There's nobody in front of them. They get to race this out. This is up to them. There's one car. It's the Donald Olson right now. Finds himself in the tail end of the lead lap.
He's working his way. He's working his way up through Thunder Valley now as they're exiting the carousel. So I mean, even at that pace, Olson 219 versus 206. It's going to take a couple laps to get up there, and I don't suspect Donald is going to fight them all that hard. Then again, he might feel like he's ready for a fight. And Thursday nights are all right for fighting. I know Elton John did the same. Hey, this way we didn't get the copyright strike.
Montini back here trying to pull off his recovery drive after getting out of the pit stop. Montini's already taken over a couple of drivers, got by Strike Cars and Lucio Vargas just a moment ago. So Montini trying to claw his way back up here as many spots as he can. You know, maybe since things have calmed down for just a moment, why don't we let everybody know where everybody is at after those pit stops? David Holland still got the lead of this race. He's only got it by 1.3 seconds, though. And Abner Acosta with a great pit stop, a great strategy, staying out that one extra lap. This could pay off for him. We'll see. Raymond Day, one of the big surprises of the race. Ray sitting in third right now, and he's got pretty good command of it as he's got just under 3 seconds. Behind him is Brett Thurman, the Northwest driver, up 10 spots, looking at a chance at a podium. He'll find himself in P4. Hugo Galaz Another driver up 10 spots. Finds himself in the top 5, Brian.
In the sixth spot, we talked about him a lot. Andres Espinoza with Daniel Zegers just hanging out very close out back. Close enough to sniff the exhaust coming off of that Formula 3 machine. In the 8th spot, another hard charger too. Jay Steffi's qualified 20th up to the 8th spot. Andy Spicer is the overall hard charger that I can count so far right now in the 9th spot. And Kevin Santana right there in the 10th spot, rounding out that half of the battle. I still like that paint scheme there from from Spicer.
And you know, Yaz, we've got a lot of we've got Espinoza and Zegers battling right now, side by side in contact, and that's going to rattle the wing of Andres Espinoza. It almost looked like that wing was coming off. That might have him down on speed just a bit. Here's the replay.
That back stretch, was it just a little miscommunication, or was it
some good old-fashioned side-by-side racing, baby? Oh
yeah, that left front wing does look a little bent up. He stayed on track, I believe. Yeah, he stayed on track, so he's going to make it stick out. I'll tell you what, though, Sean, this battle for the lead was a slow simmer after the pit stop. It is now boiling.
It's a raging boil.
He has run down David Holland. Again, remember, 3 seconds. Side-by-side battle down the backstretch.
Zegers and Espinoza. Again. Round 2.
Fight. That time, give it to Espinoza, getting that run off of 4.
Hey, you know, I've been trying to get this in for a few minutes now. You know, it's a shame. Not a shame. It's great. We've had some great racing this evening. You know, we got a lot of people that were watching Peak that decided they would come over and watch this Formula 3 thing and see what it was all about. All they've ever watched is NASCAR. Yas, that's got to feel pretty good to us, considering we're actually a couple of NASCAR guys who actually dig road racing and call road racing too.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a best of both worlds. So yeah, if you were watching the Peak Series earlier, welcome on board here. This is the Formula 3 machine. Think of it like an Indy car with a little bit less horsepower out there. But the way that you have to drive it is still very similar. Again,
Zegers and Espinoza just can't keep away from the contact.
I think these guys think that they're in the Peak Series. They think that they got fenders over those tires.
And Espinoza's still doing this with the damaged front wing. I don't know if he'll get many more spots in front of him, but boy, this battle for 6th, the best battle we've seen on track all night.
Oh, it's the red mist I was talking about. I always joke with my teammates, I'm worth 2/10 pissed off, and I think right now Espinoza is seeing red.
Espinoza tries to break the slipstream there. Is it going to cost him the position side by side? Zegers from the outside.
Hello from the outside. We're taking it down to turn 3. I know that didn't rhyme, but it works. And they've caught up to, is that the lap machine in front? Oh, goodness gracious, down the backstretch. Here comes Espinoza again.
That was David Hebert that got caught in the middle of that. Poor David just minding his own business.
Guys, I'm just for a nice Thursday night drive in Wisconsin. Oh, no quarters given by Espinoza.
These two. No one told them that there's a battle for the lead going on. That's the problem. No one has told Zegers and Espinoza what's going on up front.
I don't think they care right now.
No, I don't think they do either.
But this battle for the lead, I've been just keeping an eye on it here. Oh, contact! Here goes the spin.
Yeah.
It wasn't contact, but
they didn't recover from that one.
Nope.
No recovery from that.
And I guarantee you, if we were able to somehow scope in on the driver of that number 97, a little grin would probably crack across his face. Oh no! A problem's out front when we get back up to it as well.
Something happened to Acosta.
Yeah, Acosta
watch the replay there.
Zegers
Zegers getting around.
Just hooked it real good into turn 3 or into turn 7. Here's where I was looking at, up through Thunder Valley, coming around 13 into 14. This corner has got a lot of guys out throughout the race, and it's gonna bite Acosta in the worst possible moment. Luckily, he didn't hit anybody or anything.
What a save.
But that lead that he was within striking distance is gone. Now this really plays into the hand of David Holland out front.
Yeah, it really does. Again, he still has fairly clean track in front of him still. And now Acosta way back, 4 seconds behind. Now, the good news for Acosta is he can focus on trying to hunt him down here. He's still got a little over 5 laps ahead of him here with 10.5 minutes left. But
that's a steep road to hold.
Yeah, it is. You know,
but you don't get to be the points leader for no reason, right?
True. Santana, McLaughlin battling for P10. And then just behind them, it's Strykars and Francisco Montini still trying to come up further through the field. That's the battle for P14. Santana obviously with some trouble earlier. Looking at a decent result if he can keep himself in the top 10, but Owen McLaughlin back there looking strong, yes.
Yeah, he's just kind of turning it up at the right moment. Just really trying to focus in and drive the way that he can. You know, and obviously with some of the hardship that has affected some of the lead lap cars, you know, you take advantage of that in that spot and make your way up through it. But right now, he is trying to close in on Santana. Last time by... Santana did have a bobble, and that's what really brought this battle back in.
Yeah. Well, if Santana gets things back in order there, well, it could be a long chase for McLaughlin. But again, I don't want to discount what McLaughlin's done. He started 18th tonight. He's sniffing the top 10 here at the moment.
He could
Anything's
get there.
possible.
This long, big pull up the front stretch is going to really work into his favor as he's trying to close up that gap. Oh, problems up behind him. Stephen Varaday off of turn 14 into the tire barrier.
I think that's the second time we've seen Varaday go off in the last turn, Brian.
Yeah, this one hurt, though. That one
straight in
the tire barrier.
He got lucky the first time, but not the second.
It's just the same thing that we've seen. They push it out too wide and clip that left rear tire just beyond the rumble strips, and the car just hooks dead right into those tires.
Yeah, that's going to bring him into the pits, and we're going to go to the battle for P12. Strykars, Rodriguez, and Montini. Again, we keep talking about Montini trying to recover here. He's having trouble getting around Kenny Rodriguez.
Kenny Rodriguez kind of being a thorn in the side right here, but here comes Montini. Oh, sending it out of contact.
Come on, Francisco.
Hey. I applaud the maneuver in boldness.
Wow.
It was kind of like it was Seabass last year at Long Beach.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he drove it in until he found Elvis. And unfortunately, on the other side, Elvis was waiting.
Here we go. The onboard will probably give you an even better idea. It's like we've redefined hashtag send it all of a sudden.
That was. He gets one, and then he's just oof. He tried. I give him credit. You got to
right.
You
got to appreciate the college try at it, right? I mean, you've really got to appreciate that aspect of it. But it was like. It just had every indication that it wasn't going to end well.
Yeah.
So much for that battle. They were battling well, too.
Yeah, now looking around, that was pretty much the closest battle on track.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Now, Duprat, and I will say Gunderson, actually, Duprat and Gunderson have really minded their business most of this race. Yeah. Gunderson here only just about 3/4 of a second behind Lionel Duprat. Things could get interesting for these two. They've got 4 laps left when they come to the line.
And just to add a little salt into the wound, last time by, Acosta was half a second faster than Holland. Unfortunately, he's just going to plumb run out of time. But now, unless Holland makes a bobble, and then that would drop him back into the clutches of Acosta. But well, stranger things have happened tonight, so I'm not going to count anything out just yet.
And we have seen some strange things happen this evening. We've not seen Holland spit the bit, though, and oh no, Kevin Santana's had trouble. Santana and McLaughlin were fighting. Santana comes up on the short end of it.
I heard Owen come over the radio and say, "You okay, Santana?" Kevin, go back on the GSRC replay here.
Owen had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even close to him. Kevin's going to spin this on his own. Pushing. I think he was just pushing too hard, man.
There's a little too much salt and pepper there. He pushed it not real good, but just beyond the limits of what those tires could take.
It did bring him out back into a battle, though, because Kenny Rodriguez hot on his heels.
It did. It did. Kenny just said, hey, here's a gift from above.
Kenny's all over him now. Kenny Rodriguez, man, started tonight 20, I'm doing some math here, 26th. Never a good thing to do that math. But, you know, we've seen some pretty fast Pennsylvania drivers time and time
Santana.
again. Yeah, Santana with a big bobble there.
That's going to bring Kenny back right up to the rear wing. How much on the defense is Santana going to get? Can he be smooth like Carlos? He's going to stay out real wide. Looks like Kenny's going to just kind of fall in line here. Maybe try to use the back stretch. Because then after that, the whole back half of this track is a whole different complexion.
I think Rodriguez is maybe being a little smart about this. He sees his relative, knows that maybe catching McLaughlin not as quite as possible as just getting this next spot. And let's pick our spots here with only 4 minutes remaining. He doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities left. I wonder if maybe there is a little bit of damage on Rodriguez's car that's got his top end speed off just a touch.
It has to be with the way that he's losing back on the end of that straight. Santana is real wiggly through the corners, so it could be a balancing act here where you see Santana might have the top end speed, but the left and the right bits is where that car is fighting its instability. Whereas Kenneth, he could be slow down the straights, but faster in the left-right. So it could be a very interesting battle here to watch. Looks like Galaz and Thurman might be close to... No, Galaz and Espinoza might be close to shaking up a martini up there. Espinoza is charging about the tune of a second and a half the last lap.
You know, and for everything that Espinoza got into, this is exactly where he started in P6. I mean...
Those are the discouraging nights as a driver, where you feel like you've been to hell and back twice, and you finish where you started.
Yeah.
I mean, last time by, another probably half a second out of that gap up to Galaz. And there we go right there.
Yeah.
We'll peak with the charts and all those funny things that make us...
Tail of the tape.
It is the tail of the tape. I was trying to work in a pie chart or a bar graph about pies and a pie chart about bars, and that couldn't get it all together.
Well, we were going to have Ross Perot on, but unfortunately we couldn't get him on, so... That was horrible. I'm sorry.
1,000 points of light looking down this corner.
Well, David Holland. I said he had clear track in front of him. Well, he did, and he just had to get by Lionel Duprat, who graciously said, okay, go right ahead. Acosta, for what it's worth, is really driven hard. He's got it under 4 seconds, but this is the white flag, and this one belongs to Holland, who's looking to take his third win here in 4 rounds of the Thursday night series, the Formula 3, here in the Precision Racing League on the iRacing Esports Network.
Here you see that tail of the tape, Acosta just chunking it down.
Steady running it down,
I mean, if you're a lumberjack, those are good solid chunks out of that log. And yeah, stranger things have happened out there on the facility tonight. I'm thinking if you're Holland, you're looking around, and maybe was it a full moon out there
Almost.
tonight?
Not quite. Almost. We've both been called for our dated references.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. That's all right. My brother and I make them all the time, and I work with this guy named Soup every now and then. I think you've worked with him too.
Oh, several times.
Yeah, the references don't get much more dated, do they?
Yellow bathtubs.
Oh man, Holland somehow figures out another track here on the iRacing service and figures out how to get to victory lane in the Formula 3. You know, he's pretty good in the GTE as well. Drives for the V-Power racing team on Tuesday nights in the GTE series. But tonight, David Holland looking for another win, gets out of Canada.
I'd say he's pretty much got it home free from here.
Acosta's got it down to just under 3 seconds now. It's not going to matter. Holland gets it wrapped up one last time up under the Caterpillar Bridge to the line. Round 4 belongs to David Holland here in Road America. Abner Acosta going to thankfully take home that second spot. And Raymond Day, little old Raymond Day, going to take his Formula 3 to the podium for the third place finish tonight. Man, we saw some great racing, some great battling. They all kind of shook themselves out with, not much time left to go in this race. Brett Thurman going to roll across in 4th. Hugo Galaz, a big run for Hugo tonight, 10 spots. He'll finish 5th. And Andres Espinosa, Brian, like we said, he gets, we have no parting gifts for him this evening. He'll finish right where he started there in 6th.
Well, I mean, there's, dude, from the frustration side, I'm sure it's there, but, with the night that he has had,
It
could have back to where he started. It might not be a bad thing.
It could have been so much worse, Andres. Yes.
And looking back through the pack, nothing else real super close on the finishing order side. So, with David Holland, withstood the pressure. You could say you can probably make a Johnny Cash reference out of his night with that Ring of Fire, try to get and hold it through. But the flames did get higher, and he is victorious tonight.
Sumner going to pick up 13 spots this evening. He'll finish 15th coming across. And with that, we are going to take a quick break here. We'll come back with the results, talk to a few of the drivers right here on the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you here by the Global SimRacing Channel. We'll be right back.
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
Welcome back to Road America here on iRacing. Yeah, their esports network. It's the Global SimRacing Channel and the Precision Racing League, the Thursday series, the Formula 3, and the results tonight as we have them for you now. Yazik and I had a blast with this one. David Holland wins going away. Abner Acosta, your second place finisher. And then it's all the way back to Raymond Day, who had a great night. Fabulous night for Ray. Brett Thurman going to finish fourth. Another great night. And that driver, another great night for Hugo Galaz. Top five, just stunning results for these guys. Andres Espinoza, tough night, but a great finish. Sixth. Jay Steffi, seventh place. Andy Spicer, eighth. Daniel Zegers, ninth. And Owen McLaughlin rounds out our top 10.
Kevin Santana in 11th with Kenneth Rodriguez in 12th. 13th, Adam Colsar with Lucio Vargas in 14th. 15th, going to Charlie Sumner. Matthew Gunderson in the 16th, the sweet 16th spot. 17th, Stephen Baraday. 18th to Daniel Barnett with Lionel Dupont in the 19th spot. And Donald Olson from the back of the grid to the 20th spot.
All right, Chris Richards going to finish 21st. David Hebert, 22nd. Ty Gore, 23rd tonight. Kyle Strikearts, 24th. 25th for Francisco Montini. Glitter Pants tonight. Not quite a good run for him. He's going to have to settle for 26th for the Brazilian. Jefferson Patapani. Aaron Webb, 27th. Nathan Lewis, 28th. 29th to Mike Overpay. Takeshi Kita gets caught up in that first one there off the start. He'll finish 30th. And Nick Delp also caught up in that one. He'll finish 31st. But now it's time to talk to our winner, Mr. David Holland, all the way from deep in the heart of Texas. David, congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. That was a tough one. Abner was giving me a run for my money there for sure.
He definitely was. I mean, the early stage of this race, you both broke out to a comfortable lead, just the two of you, but the fighting was real. You two were back and forth for at least the first half dozen laps. What's the strategy there when you guys are both going back and forth like that? Are you feeling each other out, or is it just having fun?
Kind of a little bit of both. You know, I was definitely minding the gap a little bit back there to Overbay and the group behind us. You know, we had a few seconds on them, so I figured we could get racy a little bit. I wasn't sure if I had pace on him, so I was trying to break the draft a little bit and see if I could pull away. You know, I'd stayed behind him a little bit, tried to, conserve a little fuel, but man, it was really close. He was definitely fast tonight.
Yeah, and David, listen, we know how well you wheel a GTE car around, and I'd almost be willing to say what little bit I know of you at this point. You probably favor that car, but you seem to have a lot of fun in this Formula 3 car. Why?
Well, it's actually a little bit of the opposite there, Sean. I love the F3. The GTE, I'm getting used to it. It's definitely a much different car. It's a lot heavier, so I'm having fun in that series. But the F3, that's my go-to.
Okay, well, so much for that theory. Now, so there've been 4 races this season. You've shown up to 3 of them. You've won all 3 of them. You plan to be here next week? I guess that would be my closing question.
Yep. Yeah, I should be here. Hopefully I can make the rest of them. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, though.
Not everybody gets to go to Road Atlanta for the weekend and just hang out, right?
Yeah, I know. Go talk to your brother about that.
Yeah.
It must be nice, huh?
We need to meet some different people, David. I think that's our problem. So, hey, anybody you'd like to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank NinjaTrader and Precision Racing League. Also, you guys at GSRC, and of course, Vantage Esports. We had a bit of a light showing today, but congrats to Raymond Day on finally getting on a podium. He's had a shot at it every week so far, and nice to finally see him put it together. So, congrats to him. Also, Rod Clenard didn't make it this week, but he's over in Italy racing in the Rock Karting Championship. So, good luck to him on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I had heard that, and wow, we do wish Clenard the very best there, racing in that karting championship. A really, really cool deal. That's David Holland. Yaz, I'm going to let you talk to Abner Acosta.
Yeah, Abner bringing you in, sliding in P2, but I sense that you wanted a lot more out of tonight. Walk us through turn 14 when it just stepped away from you there.
Hey guys. Yeah. Yeah, I really wanted to win. I think on the last three races, I didn't think I have like enough pace to fight Holland. So I was honestly surprised when the first time that I like made a mistake, I was kind of catching him. Um, I was just pushing. After the pit stops, I made some time. I was just pushing, pushing, pushing. I guess I need to do official races in this car because it seems like at the end, I'm just not used to how the car behaves, and just I was almost there and just caught that little patch of dirt and just lost it. At least I was lucky I didn't, hit the barrier or anything, but I definitely wanted to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, and then talk us through everybody went to pit road when it was time. I mean, the top 10 went to pit road except you. And you went out and you posted a blinder lap that cut that gap down from 3 seconds to 1. Was that kind of the plan as the race unfolded, or was that came up with it on the fly and came out looking on the other side really good?
I think it just came out that way. I actually wasn't paying attention as into when I had to go to pit. And I saw Holland come in, and I'm like, "Oh my God, did I miss my pit box?" And when I look at my fuel, I had for one more lap. So I guess I got lucky, and then I just pushed the whole way. I don't know if I maybe had a better entry than him to the pit, but I definitely made I think I made like a second or something. Not sure how that happened, but it just turned out that way.
Hey, sometimes the best plans just start out unexpectedly and take you to a spot that you weren't quite anticipating. I mean, great run, all in all. I mean, you kept the car off the wall. You kept it real solid. You had a very good opening stint. I mean, was this kind of the night that you wanted to put everything together and kind of keep your stranglehold going on up top?
I really love this track. Again, I don't race this car that much. Initially, when I joined up, I just wanted to have like a little bit of fun, like a little side series. And I guess it's turning out good. I think now that I feel like I found some pace, I'll practice a little more. But I think it's more like the track. I really like this track and the GTEs and everything. I always do very well in here. I'm not sure about next week about Bathurst, but we'll see.
All right, sounds good, Abner. Anybody want to give a shout out to before you send on down the road?
Yeah, I want to thank my spotter, Kyle, and I want to thank NinjaTrader for sponsoring the series, PRL, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, sounds good, Abner. We'll catch you on down the road.
Have a good night.
Sean, who we got next?
Yaz, we have got our third place finisher this evening, Raymond Day. Raymond, congratulations, man. You've been fast every week, not a whole lot of luck, but tonight you find the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been on the hunt for that podium and finally got it. So extremely, extremely happy.
So you showed up fast when we first saw you this season. How much experience do you have in these open wheelers?
I had my first F3 season, or really my first open wheeler season for season 3 in iRacing. I did a little bit of the Skippy races, maybe 3 rounds of that, but that's about it.
All right. So last week we had the patch to update the tire model. We haven't really asked anybody about it yet this evening. I want to know, how did things feel tonight here at Road America with the low track temps and the cloudy weather?
It actually felt really great. We did some work with the setups, and we had a setup that did a lot of wheel hopping, and David Holland was able to work on something and to smooth it out. And I think the new tire model is really good compared to at least the prior patch, which I didn't really like at all. But yeah, so far so good. Really like it.
Well, so you get the podium this evening. No place to go but up from here. I'm kind of starting to get the feeling a win may not be far off in your future. What do you think about that?
It's in my plan for sure.
And well, of course, we got to thank you for bringing the sponsor on board this evening. Anything you'd like to say about that?
Just really, Oh, sorry, my son's just saying hi in the
Hey, tell him
microphone
we said
here.
hello. Tell him we said hi.
Thanks.
GSRC says hello, buddy.
GSRC says hello, Adrian. Really happy to be able to sponsor the series, and participate in it. This has been really a great opportunity, a great time for me as a racer and for the company. So thank you guys for hosting it, or I should say broadcasting it, and PRL for hosting it. And I just want to say a shout out to my team, Vantage Esports, and all the guys that have helped me, get faster.
All right. Well, I think you're going to probably keep getting faster every week, and this is probably not the last time we're going to get a chance to talk to you. So thanks again for coming in. Congratulations on the podium this evening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks again. Take care, guys.
Yaz, that is our third place finisher, Raymond Day. Man, I can't thank you enough for coming on board this evening and hanging out with me here.
Thanks for having me.
Little brother Johnny is off playing at Road Atlanta. Oh boy.
It worked out. I mean, we both win. He got to do his thing. I got to come on in here and hang out, and just having a blast at working this stuff. So it's just really fun.
Thanks again, my friend. Let's put a pretty bow on this. Wrap it up this evening. We do want to thank NinjaTrader. We just spoke to Raymond Day, responsible for bringing that great sponsor on board this evening for the Precision Racing League. Folks, we want to thank the iRacing Esports Network for letting a couple guys like me and Yaz come on here and blast in your ear for an hour and a half about Formula 3 racing. We want to thank them. We want to thank the Precision Racing League for contracting with us to broadcast all of their series. And if they make up another one, we'll probably broadcast that one too. But we also want to thank all the companies that provide the software, the hardware for our broadcasts listed right here on your screen. I'm going to give my official, albeit late, happy birthday to June Lalonde, who had her birthday yesterday. We want to thank her for all the music that she provides here to our network. I want you to see the screen for how to get a hold of more of her work. It's right there. You can contact her. We want to thank the team today. My good buddy, Brian Yazik. Joe Peak back there in the production truck, making it all happen for us. And Dougie Beard, who's climbed down off his perch in his camera and is resting now. We've put him away for the evening. But if you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or folks, find us on social media. That's where we're really happening at. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us. Instagram, a little easier to find over there even, GSRC_Graham. Don't miss next week. Little brother Johnny will be back, and he's going to join me down under for round 5 at Mount Panorama. Yes, Bathurst. Next Thursday, October 17th. Same place, same bat channel, same bat time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Bunch of upcoming races are also on your screen now. Check those out, mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.